Alrighty guys, what is going on? It is Joseph here, back for another LEGO Star Wars video here today. Today we're going to be predicting the value of current LEGO Star Wars sets 5 years from now. It's going to be kind of a fun, interesting video, and let's get right into it, shall we? But before we get into today's video though guys, I do want to give a reminder I'm doing a free set giveaway at 1,000 subs. It's either going to be a 501st Battle Pack or an AAT, so please make sure to like and subscribe. Anyways guys, the first set I have here is the 501st Battle Pack, which is pretty much the gem and the golden jewel of today's LEGO Star Wars, and currently it's worth $30, but I imagine 5 years from now it's probably going to be worth at least $100. This is a really popular set. I think it's going to be in demand, and high demand that is, for a very long time, so I would recommend getting a bunch of these if you do plan on investing. This is just a great set to have in my opinion, whether you want to open it, keep it sealed, or invest in it. Next up guys, we have the AAT itself. It's going to be worth $40 currently, and I think 5 years from now it's going to be worth about $80. I think it's definitely going to double its worth, but because the build is kind of in my opinion, I don't think it's going to be worth as much money, as it could have been if the build was a little bit better. The minifigures are great though, and honestly this set could be a real sleeper and could be worth a lot more money than I'm predicting it to be. It might be worth $100, maybe upwards of that, honestly, I'm not too sure. But this is a great set in my opinion, and just because of the minifigures, that being of course the two AAT pilot droids, Ahsoka especially, and the 332nd Trooper of course, this set's going to be worth a lot of money. It's a good investment. Next set we have is another current set. It's the Sith Troopers Battle Pack. It's currently worth $15. And I imagine 5 years from now it's going to be worth at least $50. It's not a bad set, and the Battle Pack is nice, I'm not going to lie. Getting those Sith Troopers is a pretty good deal, and at the end of the day, if you do like army building, this is a pretty solid set. And it's the only set that I think you can even get Sith Troopers in, so that's something. But at the end of the day, because of just the reception of the Rise of Skywalker and the sequel trilogy, obviously not a lot of people like these. This thing's not going to be worth that much money in my opinion, but still not a bad set at all, really. Next up we have the AT-ST Raider, which is set to retire soon. It's currently valued at $50, at least that's the retail price, and I think 5 years from now it's going to double its value. Being the first Mandalorian set, that's certainly important because not only is it the first set of that TV show and includes some original minifigures like Cara Dune, the Mandalorian, some of the Klatooinian Raiders, and the Raider build itself, it's also kind of the first set of like the new Disney era of Star Wars, which is based off of a lot of TV shows on Disney Plus. It's like the first post-sequels, LEGO Star Wars set that I guess, marks Disney content, along with some other new, Clone Wars sets, other new TV show sets, and it kind of just marks the beginning of that era, so I think it's pretty important and significant in that way. So that's something about that, and it's just kind of a cool set in general. Next up, we have the $50 rumored Boba Fett Slave One. I think 5 years from now it might be worth like $70. I'm not really a big fan of this, I'm not going to lie. It's going to be downscaled. It's only going to include Boba Fett and Han Solo. I imagine it's not going to be ugly or terrible, but it is pretty much just like a lesser version of previous Slave Ones. So LEGO's going to do their best with this, but it's just probably not going to be as objectively good as past Slave Ones, which are going to be much more bigger, much more detailed, complex, all the good stuff. So not a great set, but I mean, with all LEGO investments, they do go up in value, so it's okay, I guess. The next set here is also $50, and it is the leaked Scout Trooper helmet. I think 5 years from now it's going to be worth around $80, maybe a little bit more. It's not a bad set, and since it's relatively cheaper, I think this is a good investment, and I think a lot of people really like this helmet, and to be honest, I'm not really too sure how long this helmet line is going to go for. Maybe it'll still be a thing 5 years from now. Maybe it won't be a thing at all, I don't know. I think it's going to die off sooner or later. I don't really think a lot of people are big fans of the helmet series. I think it's neat, kind of cool, so maybe this thing will be higher value since the helmet series might die off, but if it's still going, who knows. We'll have to see, but still not a terrible set to invest in if you ask me. Next up we have the $80 Darth Vader's helmet, and this is a really cool set, I'm not going to lie, but it's not perfect. I think the build could use some improvement, and not only that, but it's another helmet series set, and personally, I'm not the biggest fan of the helmets, and I feel like a lot of other people share that sentiment, so I imagine this thing from years from now is going to be worth at least $110, probably a little bit more, honestly. It might double its value, but still, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I think it's neat, but I don't think it's great, so that's just me. Maybe if you ask someone else, they think it would be worth a lot more money. Next up, guys, we have the Probe Droid. This thing's currently going to be $60, and I think 5 years from now it's going to be worth around $85 or more. Not a bad set. I do like this one a lot, actually, but I feel like it's just it's not super cool or super memorable or incredible, It's just kind of an average LEGO Star Wars set, kind of like Dio from 2020 or 2019, I think. Just a nice set, nothing too special, nothing too iconic, so it's cool, but I don't think it's great, and that's just how I view it, I guess. Next up, we have the $40 Rumored Imperial Troop Transport. I think this thing is going to double its value. I think it's going to be a good set. It has the new Imperial Troop Transport build, which is, not a very common thing in LEGO. We've only gotten one, and that was kind of like a mini build in a battle pack a few years ago from Rebels. This might be the last time we get one of these, in fact. And it's got some decent minifigures. You got Grief Karga, the Mortar Trooper, a couple of Stormtroopers. I think this set's going to be decent. Getting into the big dogs now, we have the $160 Moff Gideon's Transport, and I'm not going to lie, I think this set's going to be worth at least $400 5 years from now. It kind of reminds me of the Ghost, where that set was kind of a neat thing back then, but now it's even more exclusive, more in high demand, because a lot of people like Rebels now, they're more into it, and this set's just worth a lot of money, and it's like a one-time release set, Is Lego ever going to remake the Ghost? Probably not, and I think that's the case with this thing. I don't think Lego's going to make anything like this anytime soon, again, and it's going to be a very unique set. It's going to have great minifigures like the Ghost did. In this case, it's going to have Gideon, Mando, a Dark Trooper possibly. It's going to be a good set, and I think it's going to be worth a lot of money in the future. Next up, we have the $100 Bad Batch shuttle, which in my opinion is even like more of a great Ghost example. Like mentioned earlier with the Rebels Ghost ship, that was actually worth $100 back then, or I think 90 even. I might be mistaken there. And now it's worth like over $400 on eBay, new and sealed. And I think that's the case with this thing. 5 years from now, I think this thing's going to be worth at least $400. It's going to be a beautiful model, I imagine. It's going to have 5 unique minifigures from the Bad Batch TV show, those of course being the Bad Batch themselves. And I think that this set's going to be a really cool set to have and a great set to invest in if you do want to invest in it, or at least keep sealed. Because I think it's going to be just like the Ghost, where it's one of those unique kind of one-time ships that LEGO releases, like the Twilight, like the Ghost. It has great unique minifigures, and it's going to be worth a lot of money in the future. This is a great set. Next up, guys, we have something a little bit more affordable here. This is the $20 Ahsoka V Maul dual set, and 5 years from now, I think it's going to be worth at least $60, probably a lot more, honestly, maybe anywhere from like $120 to $150. That's mainly because of the minifigures, and the Mandalore scenery, the Clone Wars theme, I guess, is nice, but just because you get Ahsoka from the Clone Wars and Darth Maul from the Clone Wars in this set, that like makes this set a classic and legendary, and there's really no way LEGO can butcher this, even if the build and scenery is ugly. As long as you're getting these two minifigures in this set, it's a great set. Next up, you have the $60 Mandalorian Gauntlet Fighter. I think 5 years from now, it's going to be worth at least $160. The old model is worth a lot of money, and this is going to be a very unique set. In the same case like with the Ahsoka and Maul set, this is going to have great minifigs. It's going to have a Mandalorian Warrior, which is already a plus, along with Bo-Katan and Gar Saxon. That's like another double plus right there, and those 3 minifigures alone are going to be worth a lot of money in the future. So this set's going to be great. I'm not going to lie, I'm really excited for this one. I think this set's going to be worth a lot of money in the future. Next up, we have probably my favorite set that's rumored, and that's going to be the $350 UCS gunship. 5 years from now, this thing's going to be worth anywhere from like $600 to $800 to $1,000, honestly. We'll never be able to know exactly how much this thing will be worth. Same can be said for the rest of these sets. And, I'm not exactly an expert, but I can tell you this set's going to be worth a lot of money in the future. It's a UCS freaking gunship. A lot of people are going to want this, and people who miss out, they're going to be really ashamed and sad that they missed out, because this set's awesome. It's legendary. It's going to be iconic, I already know. LEGO does a great job with their UCS builds, and this thing is going to be beautiful. The minifigures are let down. If this thing had Cody or Jedi Bob even, for whatever, it's worth, it would have been a great addition to the set. But still, with the Clone Captain and Mace Windu, that's just added, bonus value, and this set's going to be fantastic. And the final set I'm going to predict today is the new UCS R2-D2. There's an leaked image of it there. It's supposed to be rumored at $200 coming in May. 5 years from now, I think it's going to be worth anywhere from $350 to $400. Not a bad set. The old version, but I feel like, with this set, it's like the old version, honestly, like low-key is kind of good looking, and it could rival this one, honestly. It really just depends on preference. So some people might like the older, more studded look of the R2-D2. This one's more kind of smooth and sloped, as you can tell by the image. So I feel like this set might honestly compete with its older set, where it is, it's not even necessarily better than that set. It's just like a style preference. So I feel like this set is going to have some competitors in the market like its older counterpart, which is crazy to think about, because, the set's supposed to be better, newer, right? Still, this is going to be a good set in my opinion. Not a bad one. But since the old version is a little bit different than this one, and I feel like people can prefer that one over this one even, this set might not necessarily be as great as an investment if it was like a first-time release, I guess. Anyways, though, guys, that's pretty much going to wrap up today's video and predictions. As always, these are a lot of fun to make, a lot of interesting stuff, and I'm no financial expert when it comes to LEGO, but these are just my predictions of what I think is going to happen. Maybe 5 years from now, I'll take a look back at this video and see how most likely wrong I was, but still, it was a lot of fun to make this. And as always, guys, let me know down in the comments below which set are you most looking forward to, and please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.